Hi everyone, this video is to go over how to make teacher recommendations in TAC for the scheduling process. So obviously the first thing that you need to do is to log into TAC, and when you get to this screen, click on whatever class you would like to make your recommendations for. You then, in this screen, will come over to where it says recommendations, and give it a couple minutes to load, and then you will see each of your students in here. You are going to then click in the course box and you will see this screen. If you click those three little dots, you will see a list of course offerings particular to your subject area. So you'll notice, as I am using Mrs. Harding as a demo, only math classes are showing up because that's all she needs in her view. So if you're science, that's all you'll see, so on and so forth. You'll notice it's a long list because there's no way to differentiate by a course that a student is currently enrolled in. So please take the time, make sure you're clicking on the course that you actually want. Notice that in here there are things called Algebra 2 block, Geometry block, Algebra 1 block, and those are important to click when you want the child to obviously be enrolled in that course for the year. So that is, for most of you, what you are going to click. Those students that are going into elective areas, when you come down here into the pre-calc realm, you'll notice that sometimes they have them, sometimes they don't. So just pay close attention to what you're clicking on and ensure that that's what you would like. So we're going to say that this child is going to take Honors Geometry block. We click on it, we hit select, and you'll notice that that course code populates the area, as well as over here it tells you exactly what that reference is. So obviously you don't need to know what those numbers mean. Once you have done that for each of your students in TAC, take a minute, look at it, make sure it looks good. If it does not, you can click over here, click delete. You can come up here, click the garbage can, and you'll see that it's removed, and you can correct it that way. You will notice that these unsaved changes kind of gives you a heads up that those changes, any changes you've made, any recommendations you've made have not been saved. When you are ready to save, you're going to come up here and click the little disc, and then that will save your changes for each of your classes. As always, before you go in and put your recommendations in, however you want to do that, please make sure that you are still having the conversations with students, even though they will not have the hard copy cards where you're actually signing and kind of doing that recommendation process with them in that manner. But the conversations are important and necessary in order to help students choose the appropriate courses for next year. Hopefully that helps and the visual helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact Annie Bruck or Shauna Buemiller via email or phone to ask the questions so that we get this done correctly. This process is really, really important because we do not have the hard copies any longer, and this will help us with the verification process and help us get the master schedule figured out appropriately and ensure that students are taking the courses that they want to take and should be taking. So thank you for paying attention and your attention to detail in this process.